Welcome to Champion Stepdad Podcast. I am your host, Neil Wadier, and once again, riding solo again today. While building the Champion Stepdad community, part of which is producing the podcast, my goal is not to give you step-by-step instructions. Instead, I want to provide skills and context in which to use them. One of the responses I received from within the community is to give examples of specific scenarios and what to do about them. Now, if my responsibility is to provide you with skills and context, your responsibility is to learn the skills, apply them, review the effects, adjust, and repeat forever. You will never be complete, and you shouldn't try to be. Mastery is the constant pursuit of knowledge and wisdom, the mindset and perspective that will help you avoid complacency and keep the focus on your self-awareness and self-improvement. What is within your control? You are. Your thoughts, your behaviors, your emotions. You can't control your partner or your children, your biological children or your stepchildren. However, you can influence and build strong bonds by controlling your thoughts, behaviors, and emotions. And you accomplish this by challenging your belief system and learning skills to make you more mentally strong, emotionally connected, and resilient. Skills to help you grow and thrive, propelling your performance from good to great. Challenging yourself to become better in every area of your life will help you become a champion stepdad. So I wanted to take a scenario and talk through it real quick today. I have one that was provided by a friend, which I'm going to change a little bit to focus on the relevant facts and not the story itself, the person themselves. So we have a married couple who is starting a business together, and they're experiencing a lot of stress. They find themselves fighting a lot, and he's found himself alone numerous times, just mad and yelling, going out and driving his car, or whatever scenario, just to be alone so he can be mad and yell. His response, or the desire that he has, is he wants to go hold her and tell her it's going to be okay, but he's still very confused and angry. So I want to start this off with a reminder that you get better at what you do. You get better at what you repeatedly do. That doesn't mean it's necessarily helpful. Every thought and behavior that you have reinforces that thought and behavior if you have it repeatedly. If you experience a thought or you take action, that thought and action now becomes habit. Those thoughts and behaviors also reinforce your belief system, which is why it can be very difficult to change bad habits, or why you end up repeatedly triggered by certain subjects, people, or events. Humans have a default fight or flight mechanism. Its purpose is to protect you from danger. The absence of real danger does not stop the mechanism from firing. Your mind processes stress and conflict as perceived danger, and you'll end up with that stress response. Going back to episode 15, I talked about deliberately processing your thoughts and your emotions. If you haven't listened to that particular episode, or you don't remember, please stop, listen to that episode 15, and then come back. There's going to be a lot of really good information that we can put into context in this situation. So your emotions and physical reactions are the result of your thoughts. If you have effective thoughts, you are more likely to experience productive emotions and physical reactions. You will experience the opposite if you have ineffective thoughts. Notice I didn't say positive or negative. Emotions are the result, and labeling them positive or negative is unhelpful. They are either productive or counterproductive for the current event that you're facing or a future event that you're preparing for. So going back to looking at the scenario, I want to focus on the second half. I'm not a business coach, right? I'm not going to talk about starting a business. It's stressful. Okay. There's going to be a lot of stress involved, but there's stress in every situation. Now, he said, I want to go hold her and tell her it'll be all right, but I'm still very confused and angry. What he ended up doing there is utilizing a very effective skill. Stop and consider that for a moment. He's using a skill, but doesn't realize it, and maybe doesn't necessarily know what to do with it. A core tenet of performance psychology is bringing default mechanisms into awareness so that you can be more deliberate. So the skill that I'm referring to is called name it and tame it. Now, research has shown when you are emotionally triggered, your fight or flight response jumps into action and shuts down the area of your brain responsible for logic and reason. Your mind doesn't want you to think, it just wants you to act. The same research discovered when you become emotionally triggered, if you say out loud the emotion you are feeling, you begin the process of reactivating logic and reason while de-escalating the fight or flight response. You name it and tame it. And you can partner this with, say, a few deliberate deep breaths. Relax your body and help your mind focus. You are now moving yourself into a more effective state so you can think more effectively. And I love to ask the question, okay, that happened, now what? What are you going to do about it? Going back to where you have control, your emotions, your thoughts, and your behaviors. So we've addressed the emotions. Now consider the most effective thoughts you can use to continue having productive emotions and physical reactions. What would you tell yourself? Starting with empathy and accountability. That's what our community, Champion Stepdad, is built on, empathy and accountability. So your thoughts could be, I love her. I am responsible for my thoughts, behaviors, and actions, and I want a productive end to this argument. Emphasis on you. These thoughts, taking responsibility for your thoughts, and proactively producing self-talk and therefore producing effective emotions, you are driving emotions of love and affection, empathy, the idea of forgiveness, right? You are driving those things. That leads to more productive behaviors, because if you tell yourself, I love this person and I want to care for this person and I want to tell them that I love them, I love this person and I want everything to be okay, right? You're going to feel more empathy. You're going to feel more love and affection towards this person. And the resulting behaviors, you're probably going to be more relaxed. You're probably going to be more open to speaking to this person and listening to them and just being with them. So reviewing the scenario, I just want to hug her and tell her everything's going to be okay. Now, in my opinion, this action would be partially effective with an effective mental and emotional state. Go give her a hug. Yes. But don't tell her everything's going to be okay. Because do you know if everything is going to be okay? Focus on what you can control. Don't tell her it's going to be okay. Just tell her that you love her. Tell her you're sorry for your part in the conflict, what you said and what you did that may have escalated the inherent stress of starting a business. You don't have to take responsibility for everything. Just take responsibility for your actions. Take responsibility for what you can control and tell her that you're going to do better, that you're really going to try. And maybe explain to her why. Look, this is what I'm taking responsibility for, and this is what I'm doing. Everything in this scenario is about controlling what you can control, your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors. And don't bother with shame for what you think and feel. Sometimes thoughts and emotions just happen. Your subconscious process means that your mind is constantly running. So back to my question, that happened, now what? Do something about what you can control. You feel angry, you feel frustrated, you're thinking, why me? And whatever pops into your mind or whatever emotion you feel, to own it. Take responsibility for it. So you know what? Okay, yes, that's what I'm thinking and feeling, but that's not productive. What is the more productive thought I can have? What's the emotion that I want to feel so that I can be more effective? So I can think, feel, and act with intention. Make sure that you're focused on what you can control. Thanks for listening. My name is Neil Wattier. Subscribe to the Champion Stepdad podcast on Apple Podcast or your favorite podcast hosting service. Join the Champion Stepdad Facebook group and build your band of brothers.